Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, September 13th. Market's going to open in about 4 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Sorry, I'm running a lot very late right now because my computer decided to update as soon as I turned it on and it just ended up taking forever to get it up and started. So I'm going to finish setting everything up here. And we should be good to go. That's good. Good. All right, so as people join in, let's check real quick what the breakout's going to be for the day. Let's see. Reversal. All right, so I'm just expecting this here to be bullish. Volatility is actually really low right now. All right, so I'll mark up some levels of liquidity here, guys. I'm just going to mark up the levels that are nearby. All right, that looks like it's good enough. All right, guys, we got market opening up in about 30 seconds. My breakout for the day is going to be bullish. Sorry for the late start, guys. When I turned on my computer, decided to update. So I basically just got on as soon as I could. All right, the breakout for the day is going to be bullish. You have 5 seconds till open. 3, 2, 1. Go. Pretty float right there. So we'll see. I'll follow it. And I'll come back to this a little later. So we'll come back and take a look at that a little later. Here's the clean chart. So price came back, tapped the liquidity down there, came right back up. It's pushing back up right here. So if you guys sat in on the mentoring session yesterday, we talked about this entry for the it's basically a market flow entry, but it's like a different version of it. It's just entry points are somewhere different. Instead of waiting for it to pull back, we would look for it to, push up, bounce off, come back down. The one thing that I didn't really give a chance to look at was when the it's moving a little too volatile. Like right here, I'm going to wait for the market to stabilize a little bit. And then once it stabilizes, I'll come back and then I'll take a look at some entries there, but not right now. So I'm going to wait for the market to stabilize a little bit. And then once it starts moving all crazy, I'll start looking for those entries. So our breakout's pushing in profit right now. See where I'm at. It's going to make sure my profit target is where it should be. Let's see. 5 minute real quick. Profit target should be at 296. Okay, profit, it's set up perfectly how it should be. So I'll leave that as is right there. I guess we can take a look at it a little later. So I'll just leave it as is right there, and I'll come back and take a look at this breakout a little later in the session once it's like done. So back to our main chart over here, we currently have a pending buy signal. So price is pushing up to this upper level of liquidity right there. Looks like if you took that first level, already hit its full TP. So liquidity right there just got hit first level. Second level got hit too, but it pushed back down. So first level liquidity right there, full TP. Second level liquidity right there, still currently pushing right now. Our breakout is almost at its full TP right there. It's climbing up. Nearly there.
Order filled.
There you go. I'm out. Full TP on the breakout for the day. So the breakout's been pretty good this week. I think we had I think 3 wins and 1 loss. Or I don't know, 4 wins. So full TP right there on the 100-point move, if you guys caught that with me. Yeah, played out perfect. A little bit of drawdown right there on open, but I mean, I ended up playing out perfect. So thanks, Jason. Yeah, our analysis played out perfect. Yeah, Jason right there called it too, said bullish. So thanks for the Jason's been helping me with this breakout here. It's helped tremendously. Like we're able to spot the fake outs and identify the real moves. So liquidity right here got hit, 2 levels of liquidity right there got hit, and then the breakout right there, full TP as well. Pretty solid. All right, so we'll see what happens here next. Once the market here starts to stabilize a little bit, I'll start looking for those market flow entries, the version 2s of them. And then we'll go from there. It's a pretty smooth breakout right there. Easy money on that breakout. All right, I'll come back to the clean chart a little later once we have some structure. We do have some structure, but it's not, I mean, it's pretty far spread out. I guess I can mark this up for you guys. It's pretty far out structure here. There goes the range right now. Again, like I said, I'm gonna wait for the market here to stabilize a little bit before I start looking for any of those let's call it market flow version 2. So market flow V2s. I think that's probably the easiest way to call it. I mean, if you guys want to take a market flow V2, you can take it. This would be the entry right there. Looks like it would have filled already. Right, bounce up, hit TP right there. So I'll look for some market flow V2s maybe on this next one here. Let me measure this candle real quick. I want to see how far it's moved. No, the candles here are still a little too big. I like the volatility, but right now this volatility is a little still a little heavy and choppy. I just don't want it to be spiking around. That's what I don't want. So what I'll do is I'll just set the pending order here for in case it ends up
Order submitted.
coming down. So if you guys were on the mentoring session yesterday, this is just a small little variation to the market flows that we were taking. Just the entry points are a little different than what they used to be. So instead of waiting for it to pull down and shoot back up, we're basically going to catch it like right at the pullback right here. So I'm looking for it to bounce off the pivot, come right back up, hit its TP. Oh, it's not adjusting on mine. Okay, it is adjusting. I see it. So filled right there. I got a trailing stop loss. So like once it hits 10 points, it's going to trail.
Order submitted.
And then if it I have the target kind of set up far out if it ends up going any further. But I have a trailing stop that moves right here at the 10-point mark. I'm just testing this on like one account to see how it plays through. But stop loss is moved in profit. All right, so I made a small profit on that right there. So you guys can see how price came up. It made the register noise, cash register noise, and then it ended up closing out in profit at the 10-point mark instead of holding on to it. So the trailing stop moved up right there, and I got out for about 500 to 600 in profit. So there goes another example of like what we were testing yesterday, played out perfect. And now I will wait for the next opportunity here. I have a sell signal, so it's not going to work out there. It's going to be hard to screenshot this trade though. I'll just put it in here anyways. You guys heard the cash register noise. All right. So there goes one entry right there. Market flow covered for 10 points. So here real quick. I'm gonna start taking that breakout on all my accounts. This makes sense. All right, so here goes the profits from the breakout. So this breakout right here we took for 100 points, full TP on that. There I locked in 1,491. So pretty solid. Got some profits here from David. David locked in 438 for the day. Nice work, David. And then David's profits from yesterday as well. I posted a little later in the day. Profit of 1,142 for the day. Nice work, David. Yeah, you guys did pretty good. Or you guys have been doing pretty good this whole week. Again, if you want to take that other entry, the market flow for a sell, it's going to be down here. There might be another one right here. Put that order in.
Order filled.
So this here now be for sell back down for, no, it's not shown on here. The entry filled right over here, full TP. There you go, I'm out.
Order filled.
So I got out right there, guys. Another 10 points for the market flow B2. Try to put another
Order
pin in order.
submitted.
All right, so I got another one just waiting right there. I don't know why it's not coming up right here on my trading view. mark that one up right there. That one is another full TP for 10. There's another one that came up right there, but it didn't show up on my screen. This one came up at 6:39. So if you guys want to see how this is applied, just go back to the mentoring session from yesterday. We pretty much covered it there in detail. This strategy only runs till 7 o'clock. So as we get closer and closer to 7 o'clock, it's going to be done with. There's actually like 2 entries here that came up. I wasn't able to catch them. I can't see the line here on my because the pricing is, well, the pricing is the same, but the charts are not exactly the same with regard, because I haven't converted the pivots over, so I can't see exactly where I should be putting the line. I was hoping the line would come up here on the trading view so I can make sure that it's proper. But I'm basically trying to enter right there at the pivot. So looks like it.
Order submitted.
Let's see, my pending order got filled. All right, the pending order got filled right there. I think it got in a little higher up here. So this is a 10:30 actually. It's on its way to TP, full TP right there.
Order filled.
There you go, another full TP. So basically 4 back-to-back wins right there, guys, for the market flows. All right, that was smooth. Man, this is way better than the regular market flow. So market flow V2s here, you guys can see it's moving pretty smooth and it's faster because we're not waiting for the correction. We're just getting in right at the bounce. Yeah, it's doing exactly what we expected. If you guys sat in on the mentoring session yesterday, again, thanks for reminding me. I didn't even have the sessions on. Okay, I'm gonna stop trading here right now. Thanks, Daniel, for the heads up. I didn't even have my sessions indicator on. I just realized that this right here, was at the sessions. Man, that would have been bad if I kept going right here, right? All right, so good thing I stopped trading right there. Thanks, Daniel, for the heads up. I literally just saw your message right now. So thankfully, those 2 over there played out perfect. Our first 2 entries right here, they bounced right to TP. This right here might have not have been as lucky. As you can see, it's kind of bouncing off the sessions right there. So, all right. Big thanks to Daniel for giving me that heads up. Man, today's kind of all over the place. I got in this live session super last minute because of the my computer updating, and then I kind of just logged on and forgot to turn on a couple of things. But all right, so we're done with this for right now. I'm gonna wait for a buy signal to come up. Once this buy signal comes up, I'll look for it to pull back, retrace, push back up higher, and then I'll go from there. But otherwise, the breakout on open has been hitting pretty smooth for the past 2 weeks. Last week was great. I think we locked in like 3 wins. This week we locked in, I think, 4 wins out of the 5 days. So, you know, the win rate for this has been pretty solid. Let's see, Stanley said, what lot size equals 1,000 per point for TraderBait Ninja Trader? We don't use lot sizes in futures, Stanley. We use contracts. So 1 contract is equal to $5 per point. I don't even think you could risk 1,000 per point. That's like 1,000 per point is, I mean, you have to take a shitload of contracts. Like, let's see, you can't even take 100 contracts. So, or I guess you take 10 contracts, but that'd still be very high. Like, or no, sorry. You said 1 point, right? So yeah, you'd have to take like 1,000 contracts. We wouldn't happen. Yeah, I mean, you can't even take the max contracts you can take on Apex on like a 300K is 35 contracts. So that'd be like a $175 risk. 1,000 point per risk. What are you trying to do? That's crazy. Making 1,000 per point. You're trying to because the thing is like the points here move fast. Like they're not slow points, right? Like for example, right here, this is already moving. 32 points. You make like 32,000 or lose 32,000 on like one minute candle. So I think you might you're trying to cross over pips and points. Pips and points are way different. So 10 points is like one, or no, 1 point is like 10 pips. So if you're trying to cross it over like pips to points, 1 point is equal to like 10 pips. So if you're going for 1,000 per point, you're basically, I mean, I guess that's 10 pips. You typically would go like times 10 that. So instead of 1 point, you're actually going for 10 points, not one. Yeah, I know it's kind of confusing when you go over. Oh, okay, no, that makes sense now. Stanley meant to say 100, not 1,000. Yeah, I was like 1,000 that's a lot. Like I don't even think that's even possible. Okay, so if you want to do 100 per point, it'll be so one you could just do this if you open TradingView, just open this up on the futures chart. You just put 1 point right there or one tick, and then your risk you want to risk 100, right? So that's 20 units. 20 units, which is 20 contracts. This is doable. You can do this. So this is allowed if you're like on a 300K account on Apex. All right, that makes way more sense, bro. I was like, man, Stanley's trying to make 1,000 per point. This guy's trying to make crazy, crazy pounds on like one trade. But yeah, it's 20 contracts. But that's still pretty high. So just keep that in mind. For me, I'm only taking 5 contracts on my trades, 5 to 7. If I'm like trying to pass a challenge, I might go a little bit higher, but I'm not passing any evals right now. I'm funded on 20 accounts already. So once you get funded, you can just lower your contract size, and then you can just let it play, or you can just kind of you can go for smaller targets. Because if you have, so for example here, like you said, you're trying to make $100 per point. Each trade here I'm making about see, I'm going for 10 points, right? 10 points at 5 contracts. So I'm making about 250 per trade just for these small scalps. Typically I'm going for like 15 points, but for these small scalps here, I'm making like 250 per trade, right? I just took 4 trades right there back to back. So 250 times 4 trades, that's about 1,000. So about 1,000 times 21 accounts, that's about 21,000. So I can go for the smaller targets because I have more accounts. So yeah, once you get funded, you could just lower your contract size. I know you're probably trying to pass that eval right now, so it makes sense why you're trying to go so high. But once you're funded, you can just lower it and then just start stacking accounts. That's the easiest way to do it with like the least amount of risk. Yeah, so right now I'm only taking 5 contracts, but I have 20 accounts. So whatever profit I make on one account, multiply that by 20. So that's why I don't have to take as much risk. But if you're just trading one account, it might you might have to be pushed to like take those bigger contracts. But yeah, I mean it's fine. Right now, if you're doing the eval phase, Stanley, that's cool. I mean, go ahead and do what you need to do to get those passed. And then once you get those passed, you can lower the contract size and just multiply just add on accounts. Let's see, Entertainment Hub is asking, hey Sean, how did you analyze the opening breakout? So I mean, there's a lot of different factors to analyzing the opening breakout. I basically analyzed the news from yesterday. That's one thing. So pretty much all the news that happened yesterday up until this morning, I pretty much analyzed all the headlines and I tried to identify, okay, where's price likely to go, right? I kind of just looked at all of the news events and all of the news events kind of pointed towards a bullish market. So like that gave me my macro bias. So like my fundamental bias was bullish. I was like, okay, bullish there. And then next I looked at the trend, right? So I looked at the market over here from Asia up until New York, or Asia, London up until New York. I was like, okay, range, manipulation, and price here was bullish, right? So I was like, okay, price here is bullish and price is getting manipulated. You kind of see what happened here during London, right? Price got manipulated and it shot right back up. I expected the same thing here, and that's exactly what happened. Price was bullish, manipulation, shoot right back up. So I was like, okay, my fundamentals are bullish, my technicals are bullish. my retail sentiment's bullish. I can't pull up my retail sentiment for some reason. I don't know what's up with IG. Every time I try to Google it, it doesn't come up. I forget what the website was. I think it was Daily FX, right? So Daily FX. See, I don't know what happened. I feel like Daily FX website went down because every time I put in Daily FX, it brings me to the IG website. I can't see. I was trying to see where the retail sentiment is. Like for some reason, they took down retail sentiment, so I don't have it on here anymore. But anyways, retail sentiment was bullish or it was bearish, so I was going the opposite bullish, and that's kind of how I analyzed it. So I analyzed the fundamentals first. That's number one. Identify the news to see where price is going to break out on open. Second, I identified market structure and the trend, and then three, I identified retail sentiment. So everything kind of pointed towards a bullish market. I knew price here was coming down on open, and I was like, okay, everything tells me it's going to be a buy. So even though price here was pulling down, I was like, I'm going to take the buy here, and I'm just going to eat whatever drawdown happens, and I'm going to hope for it to push back up, which I expected it to do. And that's how I took the breakout. It's a little complicated. It's not as simple as it may seem. I think understanding fundamentals is going to be the hardest part because for me, I had to do a bunch of research. Like for the past 2, 3 months, I've been doing a ton of research on the fundamentals so I can understand how to like decipher the news events and not fall for the traps. Right. I usually use CNBC here, but CNBC is not a good, it's not a good news source when identifying because all the stuff on CNBC is like this is like Fox News stuff. It's not stuff that you should really follow. Like typically when the news marks up when it says something and there's a headline, the market does the opposite because it's super late. So I get my news source from a different website. Now I get it from Koifin. It pretty much gives you all the news sources from like Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, Reuters, like pretty much all of the different news sources, and then I use that to identify the fundamentals. Um, it is it is it's a lot of work. I mean, it's not something that you can just like plug and play. That's why for me, a lot of people put some trust into my analysis here to make sure that everything here lines up in line with the entry. So there's a possible entry right here for that market flow. Let me see if I can maybe get in right here.
Order submitted.
I think it might be a little too late. I have to wait for the next one. So maybe on the next candle here.
Order submitted.
All right, so let's see if I can get in right here. Where's it at? Price is pushing up, full TP right there. So there you go, another one, guys. Another
Order
market
fell.
flow. So we had like about 5 or 6 back-to-back full TPs right here for the market flow V2s. And this thing is working nice. So I have 5 wins right there. That's basically that's 50 points. That's basically as much as we would get for more than two regular market flow entries. Man, this thing's hitting. Oh shit, I just fucking realized it's past. Oh no, okay, never mind. Sorry, my bad. I thought it was past 7 right now. I was tripping. I was like, okay, I think this is my last market flow for the day. Um, man, I just like had a brain fart right now. I was like, I thought it was 7 o'clock, and I was like, crap, I broke my rule, but it's almost 7. Okay, we're good. So we had about, let's see how many market flows today. Like that I actually took. So for the market flows today, um I took 3 of them. There was like 6 of them that came up, but I only took 3 of them for the no, I actually took 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I took 4 of the market flow entries. There was about like 6 that came up, but I only took 4 of them. I wasn't paying attention to these entries right here because I was looking at questions. But it looks like there would have been a bunch more entries here. There've been 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 more entries that happened right here off this buy signal. So, all right, perfect. So there goes an example, a live example of market flow V2. I think this works better than regular market flow, honestly. It's quick in and out, which I like. You know, the quick ins and outs are smooth. I'm not even using a trailing stop anymore. I'm just getting out because the entries come up so often. So nice. Let's see. Thanks, Drew. There we go with the retail sentiment. Because my computer I hate when my computer updates and then it just resets all my links. So like that's how I couldn't get it. But there we go. We got it here now. Thanks, Drew, and thanks Entertainment for the heads up with the retail sentiment. But yeah, I already knew the retail sentiment was going to be bullish, or it's bearish, and we're going to do bullish, because it's been like this pretty much all summer. So I didn't have to look at this. I already knew it was going to be bullish, and that's why I used that for my confluence there. There was another market flow V2 that came up right here, guys. Man, this strategy is pretty smooth. I'm pretty excited to keep using this into the fall season now that volatility is up. I mean, that was a lot of wins for the day, guys. So today's been a pretty great day. Like today was pretty good overall. We had the breakout here hit full TP, 100 points, and then we had four of these market flow V2s come up. I got to change the name on this. Market flow V2. So if you guys sat in on the mentoring session yesterday, I pretty much mentioned that like we've been doing the same thing for years now. Like this strategy isn't something new. It's something that we've been doing. It's just different entry points. I never really changed my trading style. My trading style has always been the same. I'm kind of glad that we're going back to this 10-30 split. I know a lot of people don't like this negative risk to reward, but it actually is super beneficial. In a sense like this, because our win rate goes up super high and we're able to just lock in a bunch of wins here and there. And this is even easier because we cut off our trading by 7 o'clock. So we have a breakout and then you have market flow entries. That's pretty much it. And you don't have to take the breakout if you don't want to. And it's really easy to follow here because the best part about this is that we put a pending order and we just wait for it to come down, touch it and shoot up, touch it and shoot up, touch it and shoot up. And then we typically get at least three entries per momentum. So like, for example, the sell signal over here came up full TP, or the buy signal came up right here, win, done with this, and then a win. If we had a loss here, we would have just lost some profit, but we still would have been in profit overall. So yeah, if you guys didn't watch the mentoring session yesterday, I think you guys should go rewatch it because this is something that we're going to implement as like the main strategy. We'll go back to we'll still do market flows, but I think
The markets
this here.
are closed.
What? You guys hear that?
The markets are open.
Okay. Okay, that was a top step. I don't know why. So the markets are closed and then now they're open. I'm not trading on the only trades I take on my top step are the breakouts. So again, guys, this is why we don't trade after 7, but also this is high impact news. So we got Michigan consumer sentiment right here at 7 o'clock. And typically around 7 o'clock, this is where the market starts to range or it starts to like not really move directional. So between 6:30 and 7 is like perfect time to take the market flow V2s because price is pretty much going back and forth very quickly. We have a wide enough stop loss to pretty much catch any drawdown or any pullback. Yeah, I mean, it works out perfect. So I'm done trading for the day. If you guys want to keep trading, feel free. I'll keep analyzing the charts, but for me personally, I'm done trading for the day. I'm really happy with my profits for the day and my performance for the day. We did really good. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entries for the day for a total profit of 150 points. I'm not going to go off profit like money profit because the monetary stuff isn't necessarily what I would consider super important. The importance here is that we're winning trades and that you guys are understanding the point base, right? Because everyone's using different contract size. So if I'm making like 1,000 for the day for like 5 or 6 entries, you're not necessarily making the same amount. So I'm keeping it like at a point where you guys just focus on points, and then depending on what you guys make. So um, say for example, you're taking a 3 contract, right? Say for example, you're doing that 3 times $5 per point times 150 points, you made around like 2,250, right? If you're taking 1 contract times 5 times 150, you're making 750 for the day. So everyone's making different profit. I don't really care to show profits as much, like the number value, but the fact that you guys are winning trades is what we're mainly focusing on. I want to make sure you guys are winning trades, you guys are locking in profit, you guys are consistent, win rates up, and you're following the rules. So again, it's past 7 o'clock, so I'm done trading for the day. I'm going to try to keep this as straightforward as possible, because I feel like when you trade after 7 o'clock, this here is where I start to lose a lot of trades and I start to make a lot of mistakes. The reason for that, and it's all psychological if you think about it, because we trade from 6:30 to 8, right? So like what happens is all the moves happen between 6:30 to 7. And then once 7 o'clock hits, you start to get FOMO. You're like, man, I missed all these trades here. I want to take something. So between 7 and 8, I realized that these are all my FOMO trades. So all my revenge trades, my FOMO trades, my skip rule trades, everything happens between 7 and 8. So from now on, I'm going to try to take most of my trades, if not all my trades, before 7 o'clock. And then I'll keep analyzing from 7 to 8. But during this period, over the past couple months, this has been an area where I've been losing most of my trades. So in order for me to stop losing, I'm just not going to trade between 7 and 8. And that's why it's important that you guys journal your trades, because journaling your trades it'll give you that edge. You'll understand, okay, this is where I'm screwing up. So this is where I should stop trading. This is where I'm making all my money. So this is where I should be focused on, 6:30 to 8 or 6:30 to 7. So, all right, guys, we'll keep looking for trades here. But again, like I said, I'm personally done trading. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Let's see, Sam's asking, is this you talking, Sean? Do you hear someone else in the background, Sam? I don't know. Does anybody hear anybody else? I don't know if I muted everybody in the chat. It might have not been me. Here, let me just mute the chat again to make sure. Because it's happened before where I forgot to mute the chat. And we've seen some kind of crazy things on here on the chat. You guys saw some person running to the restroom one time with the camera on. You saw someone on the toilet with the camera on. You've seen someone like butt naked on the camera with the camera on. Yeah, I'll try my best to make sure that, well, it's usually muted, so I think it's muted now, but we've seen some funny things here on the camera sometimes. Is he on here right now? Yeah, he's on here right now. I was gonna mention, but no. I think we had someone sleeping on the toilet one time, and the camera was faced directly. Yeah, no, it's good times. This live stream is kind of what makes trading a little fun, because trading can be pretty serious, especially if you're like not doing so well. And I think being on this live stream, it makes things a little fun, because it takes the edge off when you see somebody doing something unusual on their webcam or whatever they're on. But it's all good. I mean, it's all funny. It's, people get embarrassed, but it's like it goes away. Yeah, bro, I said don't remind me. Let's see. Next question here is from, let's see, Stanley said on NinjaTrader, which is the contract? Yeah, so we're currently on the September contract, Stanley. So you're right. It's a YM September 24. That's correct. YM September 24. I'll look for some more of those market flow entries down here, guys. But again, like I said, once it hits 7 o'clock, the volatility here starts to kind of die down and it starts to range a little bit. It's not like this. So like 6:30 to 7, this is nice, right? Comes up, bounce, comes up, bounce. Once it hits 7 o'clock, you start to get this slow range. And it's like, it's not very smooth. Kind of just goes back and forth a lot. But yeah, let me see. So if you guys have some profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Thanks, Adam, for the link here. Yeah, if you guys have some profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Otherwise, we'll keep looking for some more entries here. I'm gonna post profits like once a week now, guys. So like I used to make that profit video every day. I feel like it's just way too repetitive, right? It's the same people profiting every day, making about the same profits every day. I'm just gonna do it weekly now, so I don't have to like bombard you guys with videos and postings. So we'll do obviously the live session will happen every day, but the profit posting I'll just do at the end of the week with the week's P&L. All right, so there goes another market flow entry right there. Actually, no, not this one. So we actually would have waited for the green pivot to come down. I mean, technically, if you wanted to take it right here, there's a lot of different ways to take it. If you wanted to take it immediately, like when price breaks past it, you could do that if you wanted to. I think it's a little risky, but it still worked out there. So I think it's just really up to your guys' preference. I have to keep testing this to see if this is something that's like viable, because I'm not sure if this is something that I would necessarily try to do. If you guys were on the mentoring session yesterday, I mentioned that I try to take these market flow V2s in between pivots 1 and 2. So between pivots, the green pivot and the blue pivot. That's where I try to put my pending order. So I wouldn't do it here. I'd wait for it to pull back down a little bit. And then when it pulls back down, I'll try to take my entry at that point. Otherwise, I'll look for a buy signal here to come up. And I'll take that for a buy instead. So yeah, if you guys didn't sit in on the mentoring session yesterday, I do highly recommend you go back and review it. It wasn't very long. It was about an hour mentoring session. Covered a lot of stuff there. I think Max asked about Max here. Yeah, Max asked about the confluences for the liquidity pushes, and I covered that stuff there too. So I covered confluences, like a list of confluences. I covered a lot of different ideas that we kind of came up with. And if you guys want to sit in on the next one, I'll be holding them weekly from now on. I think that session yesterday helped a lot because we haven't had those mentoring sessions in a while. And with all the questions that we got, it kind of had my it just sparked my creativity. So I started to think a lot more. And then I kind of understood how like we could make money in a certain, like basically I figured out a variation to the market flow that made things a lot easier versus what we were doing. Let's see, Drew said he flowed on the live late. When you get time, could you repeat the strategy? Okay, yeah. So Drew, it's super, super simple. The way that the strategy works is so we'll just use this as an example first. So we had the first entry that came up over here for a sell, right? So we had a sell entry come up, or sell signal come up, price came below, came up, bounced off the pivot over here. So what I do is I put a sell limit. I didn't realize there was a sessions right here, so this was kind of my mistake. But basically I have a sell limit right there. As soon as price came up, it triggered my order and it came down and hit my TP. Same with this one right here. So we had a buy signal right here, right? Price came back down. As soon as it came down to this point right here, the pivot, I had a pending order just waiting here, just a limit order. So as soon as it came down, it filled it, it shot back up, closed me out for 10 points. So I'm going back to my old 10-30 split. I know some people don't like it, but the volatility here is just not very consistent. So it's better to get in and out very quickly. So right there, that would be the entry. Again, price came up. As soon as it came back down right here, I did the same thing. Had my pending order just waiting there, filled it, pushed back up. Again, I did it again right here, and that was like 3. Another right there, filled it, pushed back up. And then I think the last one I took was like right here. Came down, had my order just waiting right there. It filled it, shot straight to TP, and then I was done. 7 o'clock is my cutoff for that because you can see over here that the market's starting to go sideways. The strategy doesn't work well in the sideways market. You need the market to be moving. Like there needs to be volatility and direction. Since the market started to pick up today, or not today, but this week and last week, that's where I started to get the idea that, okay, we could focus between 6:30 and 7, catch a couple market flows, 10 points each. Like right now, 7 of them came up. That's 70 points, right? If I'm doing 70 points times 5, because I'm doing 5 contracts, So 5 times 5 times 70, that's 1,750 per account times 21 accounts. That's 36,000. That's, I mean, this is a good day. So this is an outlier, but realistically, you're probably going to get like maybe 2 or 4 entries. So even so, 5 times 5 times 40 points, that's still 1,000 per account, right? Times 21,000. And if I can do this every day, yeah, sure, I'm gonna have losses sometimes, right? So like one time I'll have like good days like that, and then some days I'm gonna have a loss where I think I'm gonna be one and done. So if I ever lose a trade, I'm just done for the day. So I don't make the same mistake, because usually if that happens, the market's usually just not moving smoothly. So if I lose a trade, again, there's two sides to this sword, right? It's not just one side, it's two-sided. You're gonna have days where you lose trades, maybe early on. Hopefully you have a couple wins to just recoup some of those losses. But for example, if I was to lose a trade, 5 times 5 times 30 times 21, so I'd lose 15,000 if I was to lose a trade. But if I win 4 trades, I'll be up 21,000. The win rate on this is pretty decent, so, or not, it's more than decent actually. It's actually really good. So it's a risk that I'm willing to take. All right, so we have a buy signal right here. Again, if you want to see that play through, look for it to kind of retrace back, push back up. The only problem with this here again is that we're after 7 o'clock, so I'm not looking to take any trades here. I'll follow it because this is the only way we'll really understand if the strategy works well after 7, but I'm not going to take anything here specifically. So that's where my pending order would be, like right in between the pivot 1 and pivot 2. Let's see, CJ said, hey, Sean, do you know if they extended the deadline? Yes, they did. So they extended the deadline till the end of September. I think they're just going to keep extending the deadline. Honestly, I don't think they're ever going to stop. They're going to keep extending it. But yeah, they did extend the deadline to the end of September from what I've known. I'm not I can't say for sure, but I got the email that happened that came in last week, I believe. They said they extended it till the end of December. Okay, thanks. Yeah, Maria actually put it there. She said it will end on September 30th. Thanks, Maria, for confirming that. Yeah, Drew said pivot balancing. I feel like we talked about this beginning of summer. Yeah, exactly, Drew. So we did talk about this beginning of summer, but I didn't start applying it till now because the volatility is a lot higher. I mean, honestly, we could have been doing this between, yeah, the entry is way better because you get in at like the very far end of it, right? You get in at the very far end of it. And since we're only going for 10 points, it usually hits right away. Yeah, exactly. Like little to no draw. It literally bounces. Like it goes down, bounce, CP. So guys, just a reminder, you guys don't have to take this trade. I'll keep calling the breakouts. So I'll call the breakouts for you guys each morning. If you guys just want to take that, I'll probably be taking both. I'll just lower my contract size on this, maybe take one contract. Yeah, because if I'm doing 100 points, then one contract times 5 times 100, I'm just risking 500 on the breakout. So I'll be okay with that. Should be smooth. Yeah, Drew said if the bias is strong, not like workout Wednesdays, wipe out Wednesdays. Yeah, exactly. So the key thing with that strategy too is that you have to wait for the market to kind of stabilize a little bit though. So like for example, over here, market opened at 6:30. This thing was moving pretty crazy. I mean, you could have taken entries right there, but for me personally, we have 30 minutes. So I'm okay with just waiting for the market to kind of slow down a little bit. And then once it slows down, then I'm like, all right, for sure, I'll start taking some entries. And then we'll make adjustments to TP stop loss if the ATR goes up. But the ATR is pretty decent today. It wasn't super high. I think highest it went to was like closer to 40, but I think that was about it. All right. So let's see if there's anything else here. It's a question from Stanley. Stanley's asking, how many contracts do you recommend to make 20K for the 300K account using these trades? try to come up with a good contract size. I got them at $50 each. Yeah, no, the promo is really good, Stanley. So I think your max loss on a 300K account is 7,500, right? So if you're doing a challenge or you're doing an eval, you have to be a little more risky. Like you're not going to trade the way I'm doing, obviously, like with my contract size, because you want to try to get that done as soon as possible. So for me, the way that I trade is I only risk about like 500 per trade. Um, and in that situation, it basically I have to lose 14 times back to back. Like I have to have literally back to back to back to back 14 losses in order for me to blow my account. For doing an eval phase, it's not going to make sense because it's going to take you forever to get that to that 20K mark, right? So what I would recommend is you just put in the total right there, 7,500. You divide that by 4 losses. You give yourself like four losses that you can live with, right? That you don't make any mistakes on. These are like clean losses. So this equates to 1,875. You can do 4 losses, you can do 5 losses. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. If you want to do it, personally, since the account size are $50, what's $50? Your risk to reward there is very high because you can pass these challenges right away and then get straight into making money. So I would just go with the 4 losses, 4 max losses before you have to, fold up. Because you can just, if that happens, you can always just reset the account for $35. It's not very expensive. I would spare $35 to restart and just do it over again. So I would do four days basically. Because like I said, if you have one losing day, then you're just done for the day and you're not gonna make any more mistakes. So I would do 4 days. In order to calculate that, you go over here to trading view, 30 points stop loss. What was the number? 1875. So you do 12 contracts. So you do 12 contracts, and that'll give you this is probably the max you should be using. The max you should be using is about 12 contracts. So use 12 contracts right there. If you make 600 per trade, so your goal is to be 20,000 in profit, right? That's to pass. Divided by 600 per trade. So basically you need 33 wins, 33.3 wins to pass your eval. You can see over here from today, there was about 7 trades that came up. So say, for example, so you got to do 33.3 wins. And we'll just give you an average of like, say, 5 trades a day, divided by 5 trades a day. You basically need 6.6 good trading days. So once you have 6.6 good trading days, maybe a week or two, that's probably like estimated time for you to pass your eval. As long as we have a good week, like the week's like consistent. So yeah, I mean, I kind of broke it down for you. It's realistically, guys, when you guys are trading, you just have to break down the numbers. It's not like super impossible to pass an eval. It's not super impossible to identify what your risk would be. It's just really breaking down the numbers. And once you break down the numbers, you can understand, okay, this is where it needs to be. So you're taking like decent risk, not enough to blow your account with like one trade, but you're taking decent risk. And then basically you need 33 trades. These entries come up super quickly. So you're able to take, well, like for today, I even showed you guys just like 7 or 8 entries within like 20 minutes or 10 minutes time within this little gap right here. So yeah, that's probably going to be, I mean, if you want to pass within the week, Stanley, you can increase the contract size, but I mean, it's up to you. So I'm telling you like 12 is going to be like the decent contract size. If you want to YOLO it and try to like get done with it very quickly, when I was doing the evals, I was actually using a 15 contract size because I was doing a 3-day to blow my accounts. And that's only because I knew what I was doing though. So like right here, 2,500, I was using more than this actually, 17 contracts. So if you want to do this, I mean, again, this is going to be on you, but this will speed things up a lot quicker. So 20,000 divided by 850. All right, sorry. 20,000 divided by 850. Wait, did I do that wrong? Oh, except the 2,000. Yeah, so if you do this and you do 17 contracts, this is like very, very high risk. I mean, if you want to go super YOLO, you can go full contract size, but I don't recommend it because you have to be able to withstand the drawdown. Um, let's see if there's any news events for tomorrow. So here's one thing that I can tell you. I'm not going to recommend you do it, but I'm going to tell you that you can do it. You can go to a high news event day and you can kind of just YOLO it. If and this is up to you. Like I'm not going to tell you to do this because I don't want you to blow your account, then come back mad at me for having your accounts blown. But you can basically go to a high news day, and if you really, really want to YOLO it, I mean, you can. You can wait for 5:30, news event comes out, because you can trade news for the eval phase. You can wait for the news to come out, have an idea of where price is going to go. So you got to go for 117 points on 35 contracts. That's what you got to do. So, and the reason I'm telling you that is because I know how it works. I've done it before. It works, but it's tricky. So if you want to YOLO it, 35 contracts, 117 points, that's going to give you 20,475. So if you're lucky, like if you're gambling and I think it's a good gamble. I don't want to say it's a good gamble, but it's a gamble that's worth taking because the account sizes are 50 or what are they, $50? Yeah, they're $50. So uh 50 bucks to get a funded account, I would take the risk, honestly. So if you really want to YOLO it, look for a high news day. These news days aren't very high impact. The only news day that I can really tell you it's going to really push to that point would be NFP. That's going to be like the main news event. These news events are a little choppy. They're not always going to be very spiky. So you can go on YM or you can go on NQ. 35 contracts, 117 points. It's going to lock you in. If you're lucky and it goes straight to your TP without drawing down, because if it draws down, it can stop you out. Like you can push up, pull back, then you're screwed because your max drawdown is 7,500. But if it just goes straight to your TP, if it passes past 117, then you'll make 20,475. So basically a one and done. So I'm just telling you that because I know you, Stanley, and like I normally wouldn't tell somebody that strategy, but I know where you're coming from, and I know you're trying to get this done right away. You traded with me in the past, so I know you know what you're doing. You just want to get funded and be done with it, and then start making real money on it. So I wouldn't tell a beginner that though, because a beginner they're gonna get greedy. Because I've told somebody how to do that, and then they started doing that on their PA accounts, and then I think they got banned from Apex. It's crazy. There's people that actually do get banned from Apex if if you keep violating stuff. Well, you don't really get banned, but they just uh they just make it hard for you to like they'll ask you a lot of things, like how we talked about yesterday, where they were asking people to to record their trading. They made this guy record his trading, and then he didn't want to do it, so he ended up not trading with them anymore. So it's a lot of ways. So there was another market flow V2 that came up right here, guys. It was actually two of them or three of them. So this red candle right here is buy signal, came back, bounced off. This one right here bounced off. There's three of them actually. This one right here also bounced off before I turned into that red sell signal. So 3 entries right here for market flow V2s. There's a buy signal right here. So there may be another opportunity for a market flow V2, but I don't necessarily recommend anything after 7. Like I said, if you guys want to take it, feel free. You guys are more than welcome to, but I'm not going to take it myself. And there's also a, oh yeah, CJ actually called it out right there. Market flow V2. And then also a pivot scalp right here. So guys, with the pivot scalps, these are the confluences that I would personally look for. I look for some V1 variations. There's not one here. There's also the momentum divergence down below. And there is the buy signal, of course. I mean, there's a bunch of confluences here. Buy signal, bullish trend meter, market flow, momentum divergence, bullish. No V1 variation, but it still pushed through pretty nice. So if you guys want to look at those confluences are on the mentoring session from yesterday as well. I made a list of them. Yeah, I could probably pull it up here. Where did I put that? No. Yeah. So confluences confirm direction, trend using trend meter, trend using pivots, trend using momentum divergence. Those pretty much lined up. So trend here, trend here, trend here. Direction of momentum, buy signal. Direction of pivots, bullish. Momentum divergence, bullish. The only thing here was there's no V1 variations. There's no variations at all, but everything else kind of lined up. So another market flow V2 right here, guys. Full TP again. Damn, this thing's hitting. I'm like kind of tempted to get in, but I know I shouldn't. So there's another right there, market flow V2. Buy signal right here, price came down. Pending order would have been right here at the pivot. Shot right through. Nice. CJ caught it. Yeah, this thing is pretty smooth. It's been hitting pretty often. So this one's done with. If you want to look for the next one, probably one more after. So the thing with this strategy is that it's risky because you're kind of doubling up. Like for example, this one hit, and then if you would have waited for if you had tried to take the next one, I mean that'd be another opportunity. You're kind of like playing chicken, right? If you guys know the game of chicken, it's kind of like you keep trying and trying and trying. You know you're gonna lose, the trade's gonna lose eventually, but you keep trying until like you until you're done. So again, right here, another market flow. It would happen like right there. This would have been tricky because the sell signal came up again, and this probably would have lost. Yeah, exactly. That's why I consider this like risky after 7 o'clock because it doesn't hold for that long. You can see over here before 7 o'clock, it hits, so it bounces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. Or no, actually, there's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But even though this one over here, I mean, we wouldn't have taken this one. We would have been done after this one because this candle broke below pivot too. So basically, you'd have about like 5 wins here. If you were to have one loss, that's fine because you have 5 wins, one loss. You'd still be in profit, 20 points. So this is why I don't trade after 7. You can see prices here is starting to consolidate a little bit. Let's go here to this chart. Let me see if I can mark up levels here. So it might not look like price is consolidating, but it is consolidating right here. Down these points. There's a consolidation point. And if you want to go to the lower level, even more down there. The hell? How did I put that? All right, there we go. This is typically what happens after 7 o'clock. Continuous range. That's why I don't like applying these strategies after 7 o'clock because we do need the volatility. Yeah, Brock said he's out as well because of his consistency rule. Yeah, I agree. That's probably the best way to do it. Let's see. Kong's asking, please explain the 100-point opening again. He missed it. All right. Are you paying attention, Kong? I want to make sure you're paying attention before I explain it again. Just comment into the chat so I can make sure you're paying attention to it. I mean, either way, if I explain it, you're still not going to get it because you have to understand how to read fundamentals. And I can't teach you that. Like that's something that I even to myself, I don't really completely understand. But I just want to make sure you're paying attention before I explain it again. But basically, I mean, the general concept of it is I identify the fundamentals. I look at the news from the previous day. Okay, perfect. So you're here. So here's a breakout for the day. I'm just going to go back to here so I can show you guys. Go on the 3-minute. It's just easier to see everything from the 3-minute. Let me zoom out. Okay, so the entry happened. Here, I'll replay it. So I just replay it to 6:30 before market opened. So you can see you can kind of see my thought process. Okay, so oh, this is from yesterday's. So our yesterday one hit too. But anyways, let me just zoom into this just from London or Asia up until here we go. All right, so the first thing I did was I identified the fundamentals. That's going to be the hardest part. That's the hardest part, and that's the main part of the strategy because that's going to be where everything's based off. So in order for you to really even approach this strategy, you have to understand how to read fundamentals. Let me see if I can pull up my news website real quick, Koifin. All right, so here, I'll just pull it up over here. So this is where I get my news from. It's called Koifin. Again, you'd have to actually know how to read the news though. Like you could have the news in front of you, but if you don't know how to use it, it's not going to be beneficial for you. So I use this website called Koifin. It pretty much shows me all the news events. Let me log in real quick. So I go to market news. Basically, what I do is I go to global markets. I look at the American markets right here. I'll pretty much pull up all the news from the previous day or like whatever is recent. Right now, it doesn't, I have to like upgrade it, but I have like different accounts that I use because you can just do a free trial. So basically, all the top news right here, I basically go down the news. You can't see it here, but when you click on it, the news event will come up. And I just pretty much read the news. I read the news, see where price is going, if it's bullish, and I just take note of it. So I'm like, okay, this is bullish, this is bullish, this is bearish, this is bullish, this is bullish, etc. I look down here and it kind of explains and there's analysis for like what type of news event is it. I have all the news events here. If it's more bullish than bearish, then I'm going to be looking for a buy for the day. If it's more bearish than bullish, I'm gonna look for a sell for the day. You don't have to look at just American markets. You can look at top markets. You can look at, I mean, there's a lot of different places here you can look. Wall Street Journal. This is what it looks like. And then you click on this and it pulls up the entire story. And if you go to macro news, if you want to look at certain things, like you're trading forex, you just look at currency market right here. You're trading commodities, you look at commodities, debt market. You can do this breakout pretty much for anything. But for me, I'm trading the Dow. So I go to global markets. I look at the American markets right here. Obviously, that's the main thing I focus on. Once I identify what the bias is with regard to the fundamentals, that pretty much takes off all the work. That's all the work right there. Because once you have that, then I go over here to the chart and I look at the technicals and I'm like, okay, how is the market moving over here from Asia session? Asia session, I'm like, okay, it was ranging here. I look over here from London session. Okay, there's manipulation. So what I'm seeing here is I'm expecting a continuation. So I'm like, okay, range market, it was bullish. Manipulation, it was bullish. Right here, I'm looking for the same thing. So let me just take off the indicators real quick to clean it up. Or not, we keep the pivots on. So you can see over here that there was a bullish push, manipulation, correction, right? That's exactly what I knew was going to happen here because I was like, okay, I'm looking for a buy here. So my bias is bullish. So I need to find a way to identify, okay, what pattern here is going to play out for it to be bullish. And I just saw over here at London, pushed up, manipulation, shoot back up. I'm like, okay, push up, manipulation. What's going to happen next? Push back up, right? So I used the fundamentals to identify my direction. If I didn't have the fundamentals, I couldn't identify this pattern. Like this pattern wouldn't work out. I would be looking for something else. And then on top of that, I use retail sentiment. So I'm like, okay, retail sentiment is 74% short. All the retail traders are selling. So what am I going to do? I'm going to buy. This goes in hand with my fundamentals. I'm like, I already knew it was going to be bullish. So I knew it was going to be bullish from the fundamentals. I know it's going to be bullish from the retail sentiment. I now know it's going to be bullish from the technicals. And that's why I took the buy right there. So I took the buy, ended up letting this trade. Well, we'll let it run out, of course. Next candle, straight to TP. Analysis played out perfect. It did exactly what it did here. Manipulation, correction, manipulation, correction. But the main thing that the main thing that it started from was the fundamentals. So I already knew if you can't understand the fundamentals, then you're just guessing at that point. But if you can understand the fundamentals, that's why there was no drawdown here. This thing literally went straight to my TP because I knew that it was going to push up at least to 100 points. So yeah, I mean, it's hard for someone to understand if you don't understand fundamentals, but I've been studying fundamentals for like the past 3 months. I've just been looking at the news, and then every morning I'm just kind of looking at the news to see if it lines up. So it all comes with practice. Like look at the news events, identify what's bullish, what's bearish, take note of it. Is more bullish, is more bearish, and then look at the actual market for that day and see, okay, did the market push up? Because if it did, your analysis is right with regard to fundamentals. There's no way there's no way to learn fundamentals just from like textbook stuff. You can't just learn fundamentals just from reading it. It's about looking at the patterns of how does the market react to the news events that happened the day prior. So yeah, I mean, either way, I'm going to be doing the breakouts, so you don't have to actually do the work yourself. You probably would have to be part of the premium though, because I'm only going to be releasing it to the I'll probably be putting on the chat instead. So like, because obviously the people in the premium have to have some sort of leverage, the reason why they're paying for the premium. So guys, I think for you guys here in the Zoom, I'll just type it in the chat next time so that you guys know, and then I'll let you guys know on the YouTube after we're already in. I mean, you guys would already know at that point, but I have to give the people in the Zoom I got to give them a leg up, of course. Yeah, no problem, Pong. I mean, you can practice it, play around with it. Maybe you'll understand what I'm talking about. I know it's kind of hard to decipher unless like you have to put it unless you put in the work. Yeah, exactly. Like what Barack said. Barack said screen time, chart time. That's really what it is. I've been in front of this chart for like days, if not months, just trying to figure out how to understand this breakout. And it just started to make more sense. But yeah, if you guys want to sign up for Koifin, there's like free trials for I think like 14 days or so. And you can just use a different email. That's what I've been doing. I'm probably gonna pay for it eventually. It's not that expensive. It's 39 bucks. I think $39 is worth it to unlock premium news for for like that breakout, because that breakout makes pretty good money. Like each breakout is going to yield me about like $500 to $600 in profit. So if I'm paying 30 to 30 bucks a month, it's like chump change, right? It's worth it. So yeah, that's how I get my news. I'm trying to figure out different news sources though. So I'm going to look into like different news sources. Like I might pay for a Bloomberg account just to have better sources for my news. But all right, guys, it's 7:38 right now. It's getting close to 8 o'clock. If there's any more questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Again, there's another market flow V2 setting up right here. I'll just continue to follow it here. I'm not sure if it's gonna play through because the volatility is a little lower and the market here is kind of ranging a little bit, but we'll see. All right, so it looks like this one over here might have failed and went straight to TP. Otherwise, you look for the next one here. Who else you got here? There's a high-low momentum scalp right here that just came up. Thanks, CJ. Yeah, high-low momentum scalp that came up from right here. Shot up. Man, these market flow entries are nice. The reason why I like these V2s is because there's so many opportunities for these market flow V2s that there's just more opportunities and the win rate's super high. I think that's probably the best part about it. It's the win rate is super high, and then there's so many opportunities that come up. So like, yeah, it sucks that you're risking more per trade, but then when it hits, and it usually hits pretty consistently. So I'm glad that we're entering the fall season. Now that we're entering the fall season, volatility is a bit higher, and it's just yeah, it's just a lot nicer for sure. 741 right now. I don't really see anything else here. I didn't even get a chance to mark up the SR zone. Sorry about that, guys. I really wanted to mark up the SR zones today, but Just didn't have the opportunity. Now let's go back to 6:30. I'm just gonna, or actually, it probably won't let me. Kind of curious to see what the zones played out for today. So I just rewind time to open so that I'll mark up these zones. Up to 5 minute. Trying to get the upper zones. Okay, is it down that high? It's like literally no upper zones here. Okay, perfect. There you go. So let's see if this here. Oh, never mind. I can't go that high. Uh, yeah, looking at the zones right here. So it looks like price broke above this area. All right, so looking at the SR zones, I know Madhu's been using this. He used this for gold yesterday, and it worked out perfect for him. So like right here again, same situation. So if you guys remember the session to session strategy, I'm gonna try to mark this up for forex pairs. Like I said, try to trade forex maybe in the afternoon, Asia session. So like right here, for example, price broke above. You ride this up to the next zone right there. It's about 40, 40, 40, and full TP right there. Again, right here, price broke below. I don't think I'd take this one because it's so close, but if you did want to, that was a 15-point move. Quick little hit right there. Price pulled back again up right here. Ride that up to this point right there. Like 25, 25. Price broke past the structure right here. Again, same thing, ride this up to the next zone. And it breaks above this one here, and then pretty much ride this up to the next zone as well, which I don't think there's an upper zone, or actually there is. So it's pretty high up. It's right here. Say like 180. So again, if you guys didn't sit on the mentoring session yesterday, I do highly recommend you guys go review it because I covered this in there as well, the zone to zone strategy. This is another thing we're looking to implement. I was trying to figure out one more strategy to implement into our live trading session. So obviously the market flow is going to be one of them. This was another one of them. The session to session move. I used to apply this on the 4-hour time frame, but it works on the 1 minute as well. So this might be the two strategies I'll be looking to focus on. Or if I don't implement this, which is not very necessary, because I feel like this is going to cut into my market flow entries, it'll probably just be market flow and the breakout. And that's pretty much it. Those will be the main two. All right, guys, 7:45 right now. So if there's any more questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. Otherwise, I'm probably going to wrap this up pretty soon. Not really seeing any more entries here coming up, so this might be it. Let's see, Daniel said it's getting pretty close to the all-time high again. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, when I was drawing up the zones right here, I was trying to figure out where the upper zone was at, but it's pretty far out. So we'll probably get to that all-time high maybe by the end of September. Let's go from our clean chart. So the all-time high is right over here. It's at 41,682. So we're actually pretty close. It's like 200 points away from the all-time high. So we might even get there by next week. Oh, actually, we will. I know we for sure will get to that point by next week because next week on Wednesday is when the interest rates are coming out. So we're dropping interest rates next Wednesday. I'm predicting that it's going to be a small drop, maybe 0.25 points. It's still a drop though, so any drop is good. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of what we're looking for. That's a big news event for next week. I think that's the main news event for next week. So next week we have New York Empire State Manufacturing Index that has happened pre-market. We have retail sales, Red Book on Tuesday. Wednesday we have building permits. And then we have the interest rate news. Yeah, so FOMC, so the interest rate news comes out at 11. So you can see over here it's forecasted to drop 0.25%. Not a lot, but it's still a drop, so it's going to be good for the economy. Economic projections. This is going to be important too because they're going to announce whether they plan on dropping interest rates further, before the end of the year. I highly doubt they're going to drop interest rates a second time, maybe by next year, but by this year, probably just that small drop. Thursday, initial jobless claims. And Friday, Fed Harker. That's pretty much it. So we have a pretty decent amount of news events next week. I don't know if this news event's going to be heavy enough to really push price in a direction, but I mean, we'll see. Retail sales will probably do it on Tuesday, but if not, this one could possibly do it. So let's see if there's anything else here for me to look at. No, I think that's it. So again, guys, so today we had 3 entries that came up. We had 3 official entries that came up. We had the where's my thing at? So we had the breakout over here that came up at 6:30 on open. This is the first trade we took for the day, which is the breakout for 100 points. If you guys want to go for 200 points, you can do that. Have your stop loss move in profit at 100 if you like. But I just go for the full 100 right there. I'm pretty much happy with the full 100. I don't like to overdo it. So I go for the full 100 right there. Here is the markup for it. So I took this right here. Or sorry, not that one. I took this right here, the breakout. There's a slight pullback, shot straight to TP. I took it on my top step right here. I locked in 1,491, full TP on that one. And then I took this trade right here, right after, which is a market flow V2. That was a full TP for 10 points. We took another market flow right here, another full TP for 10 points, another one right here, and another one right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I took 4 market flow entry V2s for 40 points. And then I took the 100-point move here for 100 points. So I'm up 140 points for the day, all wins, no losses. And that's a pretty great way to close out the trading week. I'm really satisfied with what we did this week. I was really concerned about like how the market was going to move because we're getting closer to the fall season. We're having that turnover, but it's moving pretty smooth and it's playing out exactly how we would have anticipated it to. There's another market flow that came up right here. It looks like full TP on that one. So this right there, full TP. It looks like this right here, full TP as well. And I think after this one, you would have been done taking entries because it's below the pivots at this point. I mean, I guess if you wanted to take this one too, this one could probably still be running. But I think after these first 2, you'd be done with it. So, all right. Other than that, I think that's about it for the day, guys. So great week for us here, trading. I'm pretty excited. I wish it was like next week already because I want to keep doing this for tomorrow, but obviously market's closed. So we'll come back on Monday fresh. I'll be running again these market flow V2s. At this very moment, I'm going to be sticking to 6:30 to 7. And then if the market continues to move directional from 7 to 8, then maybe we'll implement some more entries from there. But at this very moment, I'm going to stick to 6:30 to 7, probably like 6:40 to 7, because I'm gonna look for the market here to stabilize a little bit before I take my entries. And then from there we'll continue on. So all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to put everything together today, update our spreadsheet with all of the trades and results and everything like that. And then I'll get back on track with posting everything for this week. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up. Have a great weekend, guys, and I'll see you guys back here.